The RAV4 Limited with the GPS system, you push apps, setup, general, and clock. Now, since it has the GPS system, you can have it auto adjust by using the GPS system, so that way it'll stay accurate all the time. Now, some people want to have a clock that's a little bit fast, so you can turn that feature off and you can adjust it the way you want it, say 10 minutes fast or something like that. But if you just want to have it adjusted by the GPS for you, you can use that option as well. In the Toyota Avalon, super simple. You have an hour and a minute button there, so you can just cycle through the hours or the minutes to get the appropriate time. In the Camry LE, you have to push the setup button, general button, and then clock button. And there it is. You can adjust your hour and minute right there. And you go AM or PM. In the Prius C, you have to adjust it on this screen up here. So you notice you have the clock right up there at the top. It says 3:03. So to adjust that, we have to use these buttons down here. So first of all, we're going to push display, and it's going to show this little wheel right here, so we can kind of scroll through, keep pushing display until you see the little settings screen, and you push and hold the display button. So now we're in the settings there. Okay, so you notice it has the set clock at the bottom. Now to get there, you have to push the display button repeatedly until you make it down to where it says set clock, and push and hold the display button again, and then it shows this screen here. So you can see at the bottom it has display move, okay, and then trip adjust. So I'm going to push the display button and it's going to take us up to the hour. So I want to adjust the hour, and so all I have to do is push the trip button now to adjust the hour. So once I get it there, I push trip and it starts adjusting the hour. Now you notice it has the PM next to it. So we want to pay attention to that while we're adjusting the clock. So I can kind of scroll through right here, and let's go, we're just going to put it back there, and we go to minutes. We can adjust those the way we want them, and you even have the, I guess, the seconds there or something there. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the return button and hold the display button to go back. Now, right now it's going to show you the date, the clock, and the clock mode, so you can have a 12-hour or a 24-hour, and so we can adjust the date and all that stuff in the same way. You just kind of push the display button and you choose what you want, but I'm not going to adjust that right now. So there you go. That's how you adjust it in the Toyota Prius C 2016. It doesn't get much easier than the Corolla. So you have your clock separate from your screen right up here. You can zero out the minutes by pushing that button, like so, and you can adjust your hour and minute right there. Just by pushing the buttons, it cycles through the time. You don't have to worry about AM or PM. Easy as pie here on the 4Runner. You have the clock separate from the touchscreen, and it has the hours and minutes button right here. But if you accidentally push them, you see, if you just push it one time, it's not going to change it. You do have to hold it down in order to get started, and then you can kind of cycle it through. In the Sequoia, very simple. Now this one does have navigation, but it doesn't have the GPS link to the clock. The clock is actually separate, is right up here, and you have a hour and minute button right here. So you can just push those buttons. You don't have to hold them down. As soon as you push them, it'll start adjusting your clock, and it's easy as that. The 16 Highlander has a GPS unit, but the clock is not included on the touchscreen. It's actually right up here. So it's really easy to adjust. You just have an hour and minute button right here. You do have to push and hold it to get it started. Otherwise, if you just push it one time, it doesn't adjust. So you just push and hold it. You have the hour and minute. You don't have to worry about AM, PM, anything like that. On the Sienna, you just push the apps button. You hit setup, general, and clock. Now this one has the GPS, so it will actually adjust your clock using the GPS system, so it'll always stay adjusted. Now, if you want to have a custom clock to where you can put it a little bit fast or something like that, you just uncheck the GPS. Now you can adjust it the way you want it. Say you want to put it 10 minutes fast or something like that to help you get to work on time, something which is pretty good. You do have the time zone, which you can adjust that manually, but auto adjusted by GPS is by far the easiest way. You just hit that and it will adjust your time zone accordingly, and you don't have to worry about it. On the Toyota Tundra, you just go into your settings by hitting this little gear up here, go into General, Clock. Now you have the option in this particular truck to have it auto adjust by GPS. So right now that's turned on. Now if you want to, that will basically adjust the clock for you and adjust for daytime savings time and all that stuff. But if you wanted to have a custom clock, you just uncheck that, so that way you can adjust your clock the way you want it. You just have to make sure you have the correct time zone there. In the Tacoma, with this particular screen, you just hit the gear there, which is your settings. You hit General and your clock. Now this particular one has the GPS system where it can auto adjust by using the GPS, and you can turn that. Right now it's on, so it's automatically setting our time for the time zone that we're in. But if we want to have a custom clock, say we want to, make it a few minutes fast or something like that, so we can stay on time, we can do that. That's no problem. And then you have the AM and PM there. But at any time you can go back to the auto adjust. You just have to make sure the time zone is correct. Now I have the time zone correct to automatic, so that way it will auto adjust depending on where I'm at. But I can actually change the time zone so it will stay in a particular place. So right now I'll change it to Eastern time zone, and it will stay in that time zone no matter where I drive.